Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. RHOSLC Whitney Rose gives ICU update on daughter, Bobbie. RHOSLC star, Whitney Rose is giving an update on her daughter, Bobbie, who was rushed to the ICU on Monday, October 7th. She had a severe asthma exacerbation and that forced the ambulance to be called. So how is Bobbie doing? And is she recovering well? Keep reading for more details. It was a terrifying day when Whitney Rose shared that her daughter had been rushed to the hospital. Bobbie is just 14 and the mother-daughter duo have an amazingly fun and close relationship. So when Bobbie's asthma sent her to the ICU, Whitney called upon her community for prayers. She put a message in her Instagram stories, hoping that everyone could help heal Bobbie. The RHOSLC star has been on the show since its inception, so she has amassed a huge following. Then, on Tuesday, October 8th, Whitney shared a Bobbie update. Whitney once again took to her Instagram stories to give a quick update, but it was more of an appreciation post. She explained that Bobbie is currently still in the ICU, and though there are slight improvements, unfortunately, there are no big updates. She did express immense gratitude to all who sent out prayers and noted how she could feel them working. More so, she recognized Primary Children's Hospital for all they have done for Bobbie. She has a long way to go, but Whitney noted she is so brave and strong. Whitney Rose shares Bobbie with her husband, Justin Rose. They also have a son, Brooks, 11. The two tied the knot in 2009. And their marriage has been documented on RHOSLC, now in its 5th season. She works as a jewelry designer and is also into body care. That has been an issue this season while her marriage has had its struggles. Justin was fired from his job when Whitney started to amass reality fame, which shocked him. He has since found another job, but they have worked through a lot. Now they are handling this horrible family situation. No matter the drama on RHOSLC, fans really like Whitney Rose. The 38-year-old receives a lot of praise on social media, as viewers adore her. Better not mess with Queen Whitney cause she a Libra, and she comin' fa y'all. They couldn't never make me hate you, Queen. Yes, mama, look at you, glowing as usually. Watching the first episode of this season really irritated me. So sorry some of your cast members can't see their own mistakes. Hopefully, Whitney will focus on the love during this painful time to get her through. Sending love and light to Bobbie for a swift and speedy recovery. Plus, do not miss RHOSLC Wednesdays on Bravo. The soft buzz of hospital monitors filled the quiet room, creating a steady rhythm of sound that matched the slow rise and fall of Bobbie's chest. Whitney Rose sat at her daughter's bedside, her eyes red from lack of sleep and the emotional roller coaster she had been riding over the past few days. It had been a harrowing experience for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City star, one she couldn't have prepared for. But as a mother, there was no question. She would be here for Bobbie through every second of this difficult journey. Just a few days earlier, Whitney had been living her usual whirlwind life, balancing her role on RHOSLC, managing her skincare line, and spending time with her family. But then, out of nowhere, her world was shaken when Bobbie fell seriously ill. What began as what seemed like a routine flu had rapidly escalated into something far more dangerous. Bobbie was rushed to the ICU, and Whitney was left grappling with the terrifying possibility that her daughter's life could be at risk. Now, with Bobbie in the intensive care unit, Whitney took a moment to share an emotional update with her followers. The cameras of RHOSLC may capture much of her life, but this was something personal, raw, and deeply painful. A mother's fear. I've never been more scared in my life, Whitney began, her voice trembling as she spoke into her phone, her message aimed at her supportive community of fans and friends. The past few days have been, I can't even find the words, it's every mother's worst nightmare. She took a deep breath, her fingers lightly brushing over Bobbie's small hand, which was tucked under the thin hospital blanket. The faint beeping of the heart monitor offered some comfort, though it did little to ease the ache in Whitney's heart. She had always been a strong figure, both on the show and in her personal life, but the thought of her little girl fighting for her life had shattered her in ways she didn't know were possible. Bobbie had been admitted to the ICU after her condition took a drastic turn. What started as a fever soon spiraled out of control. Her breathing became labored, and her body struggled to fight off an infection. Doctors had acted quickly, running tests and providing treatments, but the uncertainty gnawed at Whitney. The doctors are amazing. They've been working around the clock to help her, and I'm so grateful, Whitney said, her voice cracking with emotion. But nothing can prepare you for seeing your child like this. Bobbie's strong though, stronger than I ever realized. Support from her RHOSLC family. Whitney wasn't going through this ordeal alone. Her RHOSLC castmates had rallied around her, offering support in every way they could. Heather Gay, one of Whitney's closest friends from the show, had been one of the first to reach out. Heather's been incredible, Whitney shared. She's been checking in every day, sending food to the hospital, and just being there for me. It's times like these that show you who your real friends are. Others, too, had sent their love and prayers. Lisa Barlow had offered words of encouragement, and even Meredith Marks, despite their ups and downs on the show, had sent a heartfelt message. It was a reminder to Whitney that, no matter the drama or conflicts that played out on television, real life brought them together in ways that transcended their differences. I know people see us fight on the show, but when something like this happens, we're all just moms and women trying to support each other, Whitney said. It's a sisterhood in a way, and I'm so thankful for the love and strength they've given me. A glimmer of hope. As Whitney sat with Bobbie, she couldn't help but reflect on the moments leading up to this. The fun family trips, the laughter around the dinner table, the milestones that marked Bobbie's young life. It all seemed so distant now, swallowed up by the sterile walls of the ICU. But in the midst of the fear, there were moments of hope. Bobbie's doctors had told Whitney that her daughter was responding to treatment, albeit slowly. The infection had been identified, and though the recovery would be a long process, the worst seemed to be behind them. Still, the road ahead was uncertain, and the days to come would be critical. She's a fighter, Whitney whispered, her hand squeezing Bobbie's gently. I've always known that about her, but seeing her fight like this, it's overwhelming. Whitney's husband, Justin, had been by her side through it all, a steady presence during the chaos. He, too, had shared his thoughts on social media, asking for prayers and positive thoughts from their community. The outpouring of support had been immense, with fans from all over the world sending messages of love and encouragement. A message of gratitude. Towards the end of her update, Whitney paused to gather her thoughts, her eyes glancing down at Bobbie's peaceful face. She wanted to share her gratitude with everyone who had supported her family during this nightmare. I just want to say thank you to everyone who's reached out, prayed for Bobbie, and sent us love. It's been overwhelming, in the best way, she said, her voice soft but steady. I can't express how much it's meant to me and Justin. You've all helped lift us up when we felt like we were falling apart. Whitney's face softened as she looked at the camera, her vulnerability on full display. She knew that sharing this part of her life was important, not just for herself, but for others who might be going through something similar. The world might see her as a reality TV star, but at the end of the day, she was a mother, just like so many of her followers. This has been the hardest thing I've ever gone through, she continued, but I know we're going to get through it. Bobbie's going to be okay. I just have to believe that. With that, Whitney signed off, placing her phone down and turning her full attention back to Bobbie. The journey was far from over, but for the first time in days, Whitney felt a flicker of hope. Her daughter was strong, she was a fighter, and together, they would face whatever came next. As the sun began to rise outside the hospital window, Casting a soft light over the room, Whitney knew one thing for sure: Bobbie would pull through, and when she did, their bond would be stronger than ever.